Right. So welcome, you guys. Oh, it's so good to be here. A couple of things I want to do today, aside from moisturize my hands. I wanted to add a little bit more to our ornaments. They're Valentine's Day ornaments, something that I could tie ribbon on and hang, that kind of thing. But I also want to talk about something because I've had a lot of questions about creating sample boards and why we do it and how to do it and isn't it a waste of time and all of that. So let's talk about that first. And before I talk about that, I just want to remind you guys to please join the Painted Cottage Facebook group. Hey, Joni, good to see you. I am telling everybody about our Painted Cottage. So Joni, maybe Joni will put the link in for us. But we are about to have our second collaborative workshop on January 29th. So it's coming up soon. So join the Painted Cottage Facebook group. We're going to have our workshop. It's called It Takes a Village. We're also going to each be giving away another fabulous raffle. So you got to join and make sure to give us your email so we can enter you in that. All right. Before we get to the ornaments, let's talk about sample boards. And some people might think this isn't very glamorous. I happen to think it's very glamorous. And there's two ways I think about it. I can create a sample board for a technique that I'm trying out. I might not be really familiar with it. I could create it on like a little piece of plywood like this. Down the road, I may want to use this for a project, make something pretty with it. But the most important thing is I'm making this sample board in preparation for painting a piece of furniture or a wall or a door, something big. And you don't want to go out and buy all your supplies and start and realize you're not really sure what you're doing. You're not sure where this design is going, this technique, how is it going to look on this piece. So that's why we create a sample board or practice. You're practicing. And I've also had people tell me, well, I tried it and it didn't work out. And I say to them, well, how many times did you try it? And they said once. That's not going to work. Like anything, you have to try it over and over again. You have to practice. Some of you are going to get stuff like this in a minute. It's like, oh my God, this is the technique that is, hey, Tammy, I'm talking about sample boards and the Painted Cottage. I would love it if somebody put the link for the Painted Cottage Facebook group in. Tammy, it's so good to see you. I'm early today. So when you create, here's a fun little project I actually did in Tammy's group, Flippin' Furniture. Oh, there it is, you guys. Joni just put up the link. So click on that and please join. So this sample, this is a milk paint, milk paint technique, was done on a small board. This is it's a plywood. It's supposed to look like like an antique cutting breadboard, that kind of thing, cutting board. And here it is, really beautiful. I tried out this technique. I know how, I'm sort of familiar with how to do it. I tried out my colors of wax, and I created this little sample, but I've also got this technique in my mind. And that's why we do these, absolutely. So I tend to do them on little mini projects more than on an actual little board, but you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting your money. Some of you may have seen the copper. This is copper leaf on chalk paint. And this is just another little board like this. And again, I could put a project on it, whatever. I can make this into something. But the knowledge there is there in my head now. I did this. I tried it out. I didn't freak out trying to put this on a giant piece of furniture and not know what I was doing. Here's another one. I did this ages ago, and it's a favorite piece of mine. And I have all kinds of techniques on this. We've got molds, we've got metallic paint, leafing, and I tested stuff out that I could now use on a piece of furniture, and I created this little decorative piece. And last one I want to show you, a lot of these, by the way, are in the Surface Anthology membership. So if you're interested in that, go to surfaceanthology.com and click on membership, and that's where I teach you guys lots of techniques and we dive deep and all that good stuff. But here's one I actually did on a piece of flooring. It's a piece of maple, and it's antique maple. That's what my floors are made up in my house. And we did a milk paint technique on this board, and I thought, geez, I have these old wooden thread spools. Why not use that? And you could use it for hanging jewelry in your kitchen, that kind of thing. But this is a sample board. And now that, you've tried this technique, you've tried it a few times, you're ready to go put that on a piece of furniture. So that's why we do samples and how we do samples. And the last thing I want to tell you about samples is when you're making one, like this technique, this is something we were learning in the Surface Anthology membership. Don't be timid. Don't, hold yourself back. I'd actually rather you learn that technique by pushing yourself, pushing that technique until you ruin your sample board. Like where you go, it looks good, maybe I should leave it. No, I want you to push it more and really, really ruin it. Because then the next time you do it, you're gonna know that sweet spot where it's just perfect and you're gonna be more comfortable. And you only ruined a little board, you could paint right over it and try again. So push it, push the boundaries. When you're doing paint techniques, that's how your hand's gonna learn how to do it and your brain is, and you're gonna be brave. All right, speaking of brave, you guys, Tammy, and now Joni, I've seen some pretty heart things that they're making. I am making these little heart ornaments, and they're just kind of blah to me. So I think what I'm gonna do is layer. And now yesterday I told you, you can't make, well, not that you can't, but when you make these molds, you should glue them on wet. But now, because I want to make, Joni, I revealed some of my nicknames. You guys might have heard this yesterday. One of them was Bunny in junior high school. Oh God, if anybody sees this from high school, who was our Spanish teacher? And when was that? No, that must have been high school. Yeah, Bunny. Bunny was one of my nicknames. Oh, Joni, that brings me back. So what I want to do here is I would like to put like a pile of keys. So obviously I can't do that when these molds are wet. I am going to have to let them dry. And because I'm not placing the dried mold on a flat surface, I don't have to worry that they don't meet up, because I'm going to be gluing these on kind of in a pile all over this heart, like it's a little pile of skeleton keys. And this one, I'm not sure what to do. Joni, Tammy, what should I do with this ornament? This is the white of the clay. I might paint these, the little birds, the white heart, white, and then add just a whole bunch of German glass glitter, the clear one, to this, and then do a really beautiful like velvety ribbon. Oh, thanks, Joni. I'm trying. Joni, by the way, is over at Weathered Wings, and she does some pretty amazing tutorials also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some more of these. And when I let these dry, don't put them down on a piece of wax paper. You have to let them dry. Like this is just an old drop cloth. And I'm letting them dry on that. Because once I put them down to dry on a piece of glass glitter, right, Joni? Joni and I love the glass glitter. It's an addiction. It's a problem. I start looking, you know, when I first started using the German glass glitter, it was only around Christmas time. Now it's like any holiday goes, any time goes. But when you are drying these molds for something like this, don't put them on a piece of wax paper, because what happens is the top dries, the bottom doesn't, and it starts to contract and curl. So I put them down right on a piece of cotton drop cloth, anything that breathes like that. And you can even go over and turn them over so that they dry. So you guys, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to make you watch me make a whole bunch of little molds, but I am going to make a whole bunch of little molds. And then tomorrow, we're going to finish these, and I'm going to glue them all on top of each other. And I might get that German glass glitter out and some metallic paints. So stay tuned. All right, Joni and Tammy too, thanks so much for joining me. And by the way, you guys, they are two of the other, four of us, two of the other instructors for the workshop collaboration. So they're very talented, Flippin' Furniture, Weathered Wings, and then there's also Kim from For the Nest who's going to be instructing. So join the Painted Cottage. If you're interested in my membership, head on over to surfaceanthology.com and click on membership. All right, you guys, have a great day. Happy painting. Happy glittering, Joni. Take care, you guys.